Intel Corporation. Ticker symbol is INTC. It currently trades for $29 per share, pays a dividend 4 times a year, and the last one I received was for 31 cents per share. So Intel is based in the United States. It's in the semiconductors industry. And on their website you see a massive amount of products that they have. Now, to be honest, I'm not the most tech savvy individual, but any of you who are will probably see a lot more here than I can. Yeah, I do know Intel though quite well. They've been around since I think 1968, but I remember even growing up, all the ads for computers on TV would be the Intel Pentium 4 processor, and they've been around for quite a long time. But at the moment, suffering greatly. So this graph is just trading 212s, total data that they have. But when you have a look at the full history, yeah, look, this is the dot-com bubble. And at the peak, Intel hit, looks to be $69 per share at the top, roughly at the top. That was in July. And then by March of 2001, it was down to 26. And it got even worse. Like, that's such a huge drop, the dot-com bubble. So much so that the 2008 financial crisis is this drop here. This area here is 2008. And there's quite a lot of history here, but now, look, at the moment, absolutely plummeting. Yeah, like, Intel, to be honest, it's not known as a fantastic dividend stock. Great company, but I know at the moment, and whatever's going on with their share price, those words, I may end up eating these words in the near future. However, very well established, very large. They've over 100,000 employees. They've been around for decades, and I think they're just being oversold at the moment. I've seen a couple of little news articles like here where they're planning on exiting businesses, and now, to be honest, I don't trust a huge amount of headline news after the events of the last 2 years. I was having a look here, like consensus rating of hold. It's very hard to judge, but it's just one of these massive companies that's been around so long in an industry that isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's in demand. But we'll see what the future holds. I put a little bit into it today. I've almost doubled my position, which isn't huge, but I never really have a massive amount to put in, so I'll slowly start building this up. Definitely love to scoop some up at this price. Anyway, ticker symbol is INTC, trades for $29 per share, has the dividend 4 times per year. Most recent one I received was for 31 cents. It's in the tech sector, has 121,000 employees. And the other stats look quite good. Earnings per share is good. Big market cap. PE ratio can only really be judged by other companies in the tech sector, so it's not really a kind of individual on its own. It's not a fantastic tool for judging the value of a company. Just it should be a tool as part of an overall arsenal. But yeah, this quarter, negative 3% profits, but 25% profits for the year, which you can't complain about. Has a 40% debt to assets ratio over the last quarter, which is good. And over the last year is 43, so seems to be dropping. I'll give you a quick rundown of the company itself. It's engaged in designing and manufacturing products and technologies. The company's segments include Client Computing Group, Data Center Group, Internet of Things Group, Mobileye, Non-Volatile Memory Solutions Group, and Programmable Solutions Group. The CCG segment, which is Client Computing Group, that's focused on long-term operating system, system architecture, hardware, and application integration that enable PC experiences. The DCG segment, which is Data Center Group, that develops workload-optimized platforms for computing, storage, and network functions. The IOTG, which is Internet of Things Group, that segment develops high-performance computer platforms that solve the technology needs for businesses that use cases that scale across vertical industries and embedded markets. The Mobileye segment provides driving assistance and self-driving solutions. The NSG segment, which is Non-Volatile Memory Solutions Group. Sorry, I've lost myself. That segment provides memory and storage products based on Intel 3D NAND technology. And the PSG segment offers programmable semiconductors, primarily FPGAs, structured ASICs, and related products. So I've ran down through a few of these, but the market cap is $118.5 billion, PE ratio of 5.27, current revenue of about 80 billion, 79 billion, earnings per share of $5.47, and a current dividend yield of 5%, which is nice. So I've run down through these financials also, but the annual operating cash flow, that's pretty much 30 billion. From investing is negative 25 billion, and from financing is negative about 6 billion. It's 5.86. So as far as debt goes, it looks good. As far as profits go, over the last quarter, not great, but overall for the year, 25% is good. Dividend yield of 5% is good. Earnings per share is positive. And it's a massive company. 121,000 people working under it. So I think it looks quite oversold, to be honest. And we've already seen this very, very interesting long-term graph. So it only goes back to 1982. And Intel was founded in 1968. Yeah, 1968. Quite a lot of history here, but it looks to be sinking down a lot. Oversold. Has a 52-week high of $56.28 and a 52-week low of $28.42. So it's very close to its 52-week low at the moment. The dividend history of Intel also looks good. This goes back to 1992. Yeah, where it was 10 cents, then dropped down to 5 in 93. Now I've seen before, I think I was looking at Starbucks when I saw for the first time there was a huge cut in the dividend, and that was actually a stock split. So what would happen in that event is if you say have one share of Intel and you get 10 cents per dividend payment, they do a stock split, say it was 2 for 1, you end up with 2 shares and you'll get a 5-cent dividend for each one. So that often happens. But yeah, in the beginning, 10 cent, down to 5, up to 6 in 1995, back down to 4, up to 5, down to 3. So it's kind of erratic. But more recently, yeah, from 2013, when this would have been .com. The .com bubble was in 2000. Devastation. Then paid a 2-cent dividend up until 2003, and then didn't pay a dividend for 10 years. Unless this site, the NASDAQ site, doesn't have that information, but I don't see why they wouldn't. So it looks like they didn't pay a dividend for 10 years. They got themselves together, licked their wounds a little bit. Then they came back paying a 22.5-cent dividend, which has been quite steadily increasing since. It's always nice to see. All things considered, looks like a pretty good buy in my opinion, and I think I will as soon as I have a little bit of money to put in. I think I'll bulk up my position. Now, on the current trajectory that it's on and the stock market in general, it probably will go down as soon as I put money in. But at the moment, it's fallen so much that I would happily put money into it. Massive company, reasonably low debt, decent profits, and it's in an industry that looks to be not only, it's not going to go anywhere, but expanding. So it's exciting stuff.